So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of getting an MBA. So as somebody having done this myself, I think it's pretty clear what the pros and the cons are going to be. So why do you want to get an MBA? So number one reason that most people get an MBA, myself included, is for career advancement or career progression. So when you go to an MBA program, you're able to get jobs typically at a managerial level, and so these jobs will either have you managing projects or managing people, and getting these types of jobs can be difficult if you don't have any previous managerial experience, and so a lot of people view this as a shortcut. Two is the payoff. So a lot of studies have been conducted that have shown that while the value of a college degree is decreasing, the value of a graduate degree is still very, very high. So if you do get an MBA, then the likelihood is over the course of your career, you will pay off all of the debt that you incur, and you'll have enormous benefit on average. And so this is really like a guaranteed bet, a guaranteed investment. If you're able to get into a quality MBA program and you're also willing to work for a large company that pays you well. Three, I'll talk about the network. So this is a great opportunity for you to have a larger network and be able to find people that will help you out, finding new jobs, sharing opportunities. You have a relationship with the school as well. And so there's definitely a huge value as far as the network goes. Four, learning. So many of the things that you learn in business school, you're not going to learn out in the corporate world. There's a wide variety and wide a range of quality in terms of different companies. And so many of the analytical skills, the case analysis, a lot of these soft skills as well, you would only be able to learn in an MBA program unless you worked for a very elite company that actually invests in their employees. Now, let me talk about the cons really quickly. So the biggest con is the financial cost. So if you're not getting a significant scholarship, then the cost, with no scholarship might be upwards of $150,000, $160,000. And that's just in money that you owe. That's not really including, obviously, the opportunity cost, your cost of living. And so the financial cost is enormous. And so whenever you make an addition like this, you need to consider the repercussions of taking on that much debt, or spending that much money if you have a lot of money. Two, I would say this is actually one of the most important things to consider, but is very underrated, is the opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost for an MBA is not only the time that you spend during the MBA program, it's also the time that you spent before you actually even go to an MBA program. And so that's going to be including things like your standardized tests. That could be the actual application process, which takes a while. It's a lot of work. And so this opportunity cost is the most underrated piece in terms of cons, because this is a multi-year process of getting into an MBA program, positioning yourself, getting the right recommendations, and then while you're actually at the MBA program, you can't work. And so you really need to think about it. What would you do with your life in 4 years, without the MBA program, and compare that to the MBA program. So the opportunity cost is one of the most significant cons. And so the last con I'll definitely provide is, sort of this ivory tower thinking. So the actual world of business, you need to understand an industry, you need to understand the specifics. An MBA program, they'll teach you, some general principles. So basic marketing, basic finance, you'll have to go through different cases. And so all of it is definitely helpful. It's never a bad thing to learn more, but this is very theoretical. Oftentimes people who are very successful, they have a lot of practical working knowledge. They know how to actually make something happen. But an MBA program can definitely be very theoretical. And so these are some of the pros and some of the cons, why to get an MBA. I think that you need to kind of compare, the biggest thing, honestly, is the opportunity cost and obviously the financial cost. You need to make sure that you're able to afford it, and you're not necessarily sacrificing your whole career just to go for the MBA program, but some of these obviously these pros are quite vast. You're going to get a great job right after. It's going to pay off, as long as you're willing to work. You have a great network, great learning, so it's a choice that you have to make for yourself. But hopefully this helps you think about the issue with a little bit more depth.